Well, hecklers have booed the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, and Minister for Home Affairs, Tony Burke, during an Eid celebration in Sydney's southwest.
Get him out of here! We as Australian Muslims, get him out of here! He's the best.
The pair was invited by the Lebanese Muslim Association to attend the celebrations at Lakemba Mosque. 50,000 Muslims are expected to attend today to mark the end of the holy month of Ramadan. And reporter Max Tillman has more.
The Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke, who is the local member here in Sydney's west, were entering Lakemba Mosque this morning for Eid prayers. They arrived just after those first prayers concluded at around 7:30 a.m. They were here as guests of the Lebanese Muslim Association, and Jamel Keir, who is the secretary of that organisation. What we saw inside the mosque was essentially Mr Keir making a speech to the worshippers who were present, effectively giving the message that it was important for the Lebanese Muslim Association to engage with political figures like the Prime Minister. He said that it was important for the organisation or the association to effectively not isolate itself from federal politics. It was at that point that a number of worshippers, or those who were inside the mosque at the time, began heckling the Prime Minister, as well as Mr Burke and Mr Keir, who are all sitting quite close together at the time. We understand that one of those individuals who was inside the mosque at the time was removed by security, but certainly the mood did quite quickly change. That crowd was moving closer and closer towards the Prime Minister. We had a chance to speak to some people who were making their way out of the mosque. They mainly aired their frustration with the Prime Minister's presence. In fact, a few people that we spoke to said that their frustration was really aimed at the Lebanese Muslim Association for giving the Prime Minister an invitation to the mosque this morning on what is a very holy day, the end of the holy month of Ramadan. And at the same time, it was very soon after that the Prime Minister and Tony Burke were escorted out of the prayer hall itself, and very shortly after made their exit.
So, Max, this comes as Muslims around the country are celebrating the end of Ramadan, as you mentioned.
It does indeed. Eid al-Fitr, which is essentially the breaking of the fast. That's what that effectively means in Arabic. What we've seen throughout the morning were thousands and thousands of people spilling out of the mosque itself. In fact, behind us at about 7:30 in this morning, there was a large spillover area for those worshippers who were not able to make their way into the mosque itself. Those prayers were conducted at about 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Now, what the celebrations really are about once those initial prayers are concluded is a time for family and friends to gather, to celebrate, and most importantly, to share food. In fact, we had a chance to speak to some locals around the area. They were telling us that a really big part of Eid is to pay alms or donations to those less fortunate. They also say that a really big part of the Eid celebrations are food, particularly sweet and savoury, and spending time with family as well. So Eid generally runs for the first 3 days of the 10th month of the Islamic calendar, but in some countries and some cultures indeed, those celebrations can run for much longer. So most people have now retired home to spend time with their families.